The mystic massacre of Prequot tribe 1637. The Prequot tribe were near Groton, Connecticut. The Dutch had a trade with Prequot in 1622. They built trading posts along the Connecticut River between 1614 and 1622. Plymouth Colony was founded in 1620. Indian Massacre of 1622 at Jamestown Colony, Virginia. On March 22, 1622, chief of the Powhatan Opkonakano attacked the Confederacy of Virginia settlements, killing 347 colonists in the morning. English colonists began competing with the Dutch for the trade. A treaty resolved the English and Dutch in 1631, dividing territories and tribes each would trade with the West Indies. In 1634, the smallpox epidemic affected the Indians, and an English captain named John Stone killed allegedly by the Western Atlantic warriors tributaries of Prequot. There were 7 men of Stone's actions against the natives, including kidnapping. On July 26, 1636, Prequot killed a dishonest trader named John Oldham. The settlers demanded the Prequot to be punished, so they raised a military. Captain John Mason of 90 men, 70 Mohegans under Sachems Uncas and Weckwash. 20 more men joined Fort Saybrook, and 200 Narragansett and Niantic warriors joined. Mohawk tribe, Southeast Canada, Northern New York, and Lake Ontario. Oneida tribe, Upstate New York by the Great Lakes. Onondaga tribe, Onondaga County, New York and South Lake Ontario. Cayuga tribe, Cayuga Lake, Fingers Lake, New York and Oklahoma. Seneca tribe, One Great Lakes, South Lake of Ontario and New York. Their chief Sachem Tatabem was killed in 1632. A new chief named Sassacus born in 1560 in Groton, Connecticut. Chief Sassacus of the Prequot Nation did not agree to Squanto Treaty to mandate that the remained Prequots were to absorbed into the Mohegan and Narragansett, and were not allowed to refer themselves as Prequot. The Prequot attacking the settlement of Fort Saybrook in Connecticut and others throughout the fall of 1636 into spring of 1637. The English had 2 casualties and 26 injuries. The night before the mystic massacre, Governor Bradford in 1637, who saw his colonists locked in mortal combat with dangerous Native Americans, ordered his militia to conduct a night attack on sleeping women and children. Prequot Nation village. Governor Bradford, a devoted Christian, massacre was imbued with religious meaning of thanksgiving. That night before the mystic massacre, joined by the British settlers and French allies called the Iroquois League. John Mason, Narragansett and Mohegan allies set fire to the Prequot fort near the Mystic River on May 26, 1937. They surrounded the Prequot fort. The Prequot had 2 exits which settlers and Indians were at waiting with guns. The first Thanksgiving Day commemorated the massacre of 700 Prequot civilians killed, one of their religious ceremonies, shot and clubbed to death, then burned alive. Prequot were shot trying to escape the wooden palisade fortress and killed most of the village in retaliation for previous Prequot attacks. Only the Prequot warriors with chief escaped. Thanksgiving to the Pilgrims was a religious holiday in which they'll attend church, thank God for a specific event, and winning the battle boats of 500 slaves left ports of New England. On Thanksgiving, English would have prayer and normally a day of fasting. Bounties hunters were paid for Indian scalps to encourage more deaths. The raid of the Prequot fort were announced by churches on the second day afterward of Thanksgiving, celebrating the victory over the heathen savages. During the feasting, the heads of Prequot Indians were kicked as soccer balls in the streets. There were 3,000 Prequot Indians lived in Connecticut before their village was surrounded and the exits were blocked, then set the village on fire while being inside. Now there were less than 300 who survived. Colonists suffered 22 injuries, 26 casualties, and 2 deaths. Chief Sassacus and Prequot were defeated by England along with other Indian tribes. Chief Sassacus fled to what he thought was a safe house through the Iroquois Mohawks, indigenous confederacy, in northeast. England called them 5 nations: Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, and Seneca. Chief Sassacus, age 76 in New York, was murdered by the Mohawks. The Mohawks sent his head and hands to the English as a symbolic offering of friendship. Many Prequot survivors were enslaved and shipped to Bermuda and Barbados. The mystic massacre of Prequots in 1634 to 1637 was a 3-year bloody war of history. In October 1863, President Lincoln National Day of Mourning, Thanksgiving proclamation after the victory of the Union over the Confederacy. In 1970, Thanksgiving is marked the fourth Thursday of November in remembering the Indians who died to celebrate this day.